This is it, Coco. This is the house.
But, Mr. Lovejoy...
Yes?
It's a ruin.
A ruin? It's not a ruin. It needs restoring, that's all. It'll be all our own work.
All our own work.
Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house which needs restoring.
To restore.
To fix.
To make good again.
And he's going to do up the house himself, with the help of his young friend Coco. To do up a house means to restore it.
Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to restore the house themselves.
Yes, they're going to do it up themselves.
It'll be all their own work. Oh yes, it'll be all their own work. Yes, it will.
In today's program, Mr. Lovejoy takes Coco to see the house. My name is Miranda, and here are Coco and Mr. Lovejoy. They're standing outside the house.
Are you all right?
Yes, I got a cold. That's all.
You don't do that.
Sorry, Mr. Lovejoy.
Good gracious. Well, come on, Coco. Let's go in.
Okay. It's locked, Mr. Lovejoy.
Of course it's locked.
Have you got a key?
No. Haven't you?
No.
Well, we need a key, Coco. Be careful, Coco. Don't force it. You'll break it. Oh, what are we going to do? We need a key.
Look, you stay here, Mr. Lovejoy. I'll go and get the key.
Ah, good lad. What are you doing? What happened?
The door handle's fallen off.
What? What did you do?
I've sneezed. That's all.
Well, don't.
Okay. See you in a minute.
So, the front door of the house is locked, and they can't open it because they haven't got a key.
To lock.
To unlock.
This door is locked. And I want to open it.
Well, put the key in the lock.
The key in the lock.
Turn the key.
Turn the key.
The door is now unlocked.
Yes. I can open it.
Now I'm going to lock it. I shut the door, and I turn the key to the right.
Turn the key to the left to unlock the door. Turn it to the right to lock it.
To the left.
To the right.
I turn the key to the left to unlock the door.
Now I must turn the key to the right to lock it.
Not to the left, but to the right.
Okay. Now the door is locked.
The verb lock, the verb unlock, and the noun lock. Lock is a noun and a verb.
Don't lock the lock.
Yes, lock is a noun and a verb. Now, if the key won't turn, don't force it.
To force a key to turn.
To force a door to open.
If you force a key to turn, it might break, like this.
The key won't turn, so I'm going to force it. I'm forcing it. I've broken the key.
And if you force a door to open, it might break, like this.
See? The door won't open, so I'm going to force it. I'm forcing the door. There, I've broken it.
Break, broken.
Yes, I'm afraid I've broken the door.
So, if a door won't open, don't force it. And if a key won't turn, don't force it. But why won't the key turn?
Perhaps the lock's old.
Perhaps it's broken.
Perhaps it's rusty.
Perhaps you've got the wrong key.
That's possible. But this lock's also very rusty.
Rust. If you leave metal in water, it gets rusty.
Cars get rusty. The metal gets rusty. It goes an orange colour.
Bicycles get rusty. The metal gets rusty. It goes an orange colour.
And locks get rusty. Rusty is the adjective.
This lock is very rusty.
Rust is the noun.
Look at the rust on this lock.
Sheesh.
And rust is the verb.
It has rusted.
That's true. It needs oiling.
Yes, it needs oiling. Oil is the verb.
It needs oiling.
We must oil it.
And oil is the noun.
Where's the oil?
The oil's here.
Oily is the adjective.
Oil is oily.
Very oily.
Now, this door has a lock.
A rusty lock.
It has a handle, a door handle. And it has a knocker.
A door knocker.
Come in.
Oh, hello.
Do come in. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
A lock, a door handle, a door knocker.
Yes, this door's got everything.
Even a rusty lock.
Now, here's Coco back at the house with the key.
Here I am, Mr. Lovejoy.
Have you got the key?
Yes, here it is.
Well done, lad. Oh, come on, lad. What's the matter?
The key won't turn, Mr. Lovejoy. The lock's jammed.
Let me see.
It's probably rusty.
Yes, it needs oiling.
Have you got any oil?
Not here. Here, you try.
I can't move it.
Don't force it, Coco. You'll break it.
The lock's completely jammed.
We need some oil.
We could hit it with a brick.
A brick.
Well, we haven't got a hammer.
Oh, very funny, lad. Very funny.
Look, you stay here, Mr. Lovejoy. I'll go and get some oil.
Good lad. What happened?
The door knocker's fallen off.
What did you do?
I sneezed, that's all.
Well, don't.
Sorry, Mr. Lovejoy. See you in a minute.
So, they still can't open the door because the lock is rusty.
Yes, it needs oiling.
It won't move. It will not move.
The door won't move because it's locked.
The lock won't move because it's rusty.
The verb move. This car's moving. It's moving fast. These cars are not moving. They aren't moving because they're in a traffic jam. This plane's moving.
Maybe it's going to Rio.
Maybe it's going to Tokyo.
Maybe it's going to New York.
We don't know, but it's certainly moving.
The verb move. Now, could you open the window?
Okay. It won't move.
It will not move.
I can't move it.
Okay. Now, could you take out this screw?
Which one?
This one.
Have you got a screwdriver?
Yes, here you are. Is it moving?
Yes. There.
Thanks. Now, could you take out the other screw?
Right. Oh, I can't move it.
Let me hit it with a hammer. Now try.
No, it still won't move.
Let me try. No, it won't move at all.
So, the window won't move.
I can't open it.
This screw won't move.
We can't move it.
With a screwdriver or a hammer,
Mr. Lovejoy's front door won't move.
because it's locked.
And his lock won't move.
Because it's rusty.
Nothing's moving today.
I think they're all jammed.
Jammed. That window is jammed. It isn't broken. It isn't rusty. But it won't move. It's jammed. Jammed.
These cars are jammed. They're jammed. They aren't broken. They aren't rusty. But they can't move.
Yes, they're in a traffic jam.
They're jammed in a traffic jam.
Right. Now listen. There's a door knocker on this door.
Oh, it's fallen off.
It has fallen off.
The verb fall. Fall, fallen. The knocker was on the door. Now it has fallen off. On, off.
First nothing moves, then everything falls off.
Now here's Coco back again. This time with some oil.
I'm back, Mr. Lovejoy. I've got some oil.
Well done, lad. Well done. Now, this should do it. There. Now try. Don't force it.
It's moving. The key's moving. Ah! There, that's it.
Well, open the door.
Right. Oh. It still won't open. The door's jammed.
Let me try. Oh, yeah. It's jammed. What are we going to do?
We could kick it.
Kick it?
Yes.
Okay, try it.
It's no good. The door's completely jammed.
What happened?
The door's fallen off.
What did you do?
I sneezed, that's all.
Well done, lad. Well done.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Lovejoy.
Let's go in.
Okay.
But whatever you do, don't sneeze.
Okay, Mr. Lovejoy.
And there we leave Coco and Mr. Lovejoy looking round the house. The technical terms in today's programme were
The door's locked.
The lock's jammed.
The lock's rusty. It needs oiling.
Oil. To oil. Oily.
Rust. To rust. Rusty.
The key won't turn. The key won't move. I can't move it.
Don't force it. You'll break it.
We could hit it with a hammer.
A hammer. A screwdriver.
What happened?
The door has fallen off.
Join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was all my own work. Oh yes, it was all my own work. Yes, it was.
What happened?
I sneezed, that's all.
Well, damn it! I said don't.
All My Own Work. A course in everyday technical English.
This is it, Coco. This is the house.
But, Mr. Lovejoy,
Yes.
it's a ruin.
A ruin? It's not a ruin. It needs restoring, that's all. It'll be all our own work.
It'll be all their own work. Oh yes, it'll be all their own work. Yes, it will.
Today, Mr. Lovejoy is rewiring his house. Electricity runs along wires.
It runs to the television along wires.
It runs to the radio along wires.
It runs to the lights along wires.
And in Mr. Lovejoy's house, the wires are old. So he's putting in new wires.
He's rewiring the house.
Wire is a noun and a verb.
Don't touch that wire.
That wire. Wire is a noun.
I'm wiring this switch.
I am wiring. Wire is a verb. To wire means to connect the wires. To rewire means to wire again. Mr. Lovejoy is rewiring his house because the wiring is old. At the moment, he's wiring a switch.
An electrical switch.
This is a switch, a light switch. The light is on. Now it's off.
And Mr. Lovejoy is wiring a switch. A man from the electricity board is coming to connect the house to the mains.
To the central electricity supply.
To the main electricity supply.
To the mains.
Mr. Lovejoy is almost ready.
When is that man coming to connect us to the mains, Mr. Lovejoy?
This morning. I must finish this rewiring. Pass that cable, Coco. Did you know a cable like this has 3 wires in it, Coco?
Yes, I did, Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh, good lad. Now, watch me carefully. This is how to wire a switch. I connect this wire to the earth.
To the earth?
Yes. I put it in this hole and I tighten the screw.
But it's blue.
What is?
That wire.
Huh, I know it's blue.
But the yellow and green wires of the earth.
Oh, you're right. So it is, lad. It's so dark in here, I can't see. Switch on the light, will you?
The electricity's off, Mr. Lovejoy.
Off? Why?
Because you're rewiring. We aren't connected to the mains.
Oh, yes.
Hello!
That's the man.
We aren't ready yet. Can you come back in half an hour?
Okay.
Right. This won't take me long.
So Mr. Lovejoy isn't ready. The rewiring isn't finished. The cable isn't connected to the switch yet.
A cable.
An electrical cable.
The cable Mr. Lovejoy is connecting has 3 wires in it.
It has a brown wire in it.
It has a blue wire in it.
And it has a yellow and green wire in it. Now, brown is live.
That's positive.
Blue is neutral.
That's negative.
Yellow and green is earth. So you connect the brown wire to the live terminal.
That's positive.
You connect the blue wire to the neutral terminal.
That's negative.
And you connect the yellow and green wire to the earth terminal.
To connect.
To join.
To attach.
It's important to connect the right wire to the right terminal.
To the right point.
To the right place.
To the right terminal. Yes, it's important to connect the right wire to the right terminal. But how?
Do you know how to connect a wire to a terminal?
Do you know how to?
Do you know how to connect a wire to a terminal?
No.
Do you know how to play the piano?
No.
Do you know how to play the violin?
No.
Know how to.
I know how to play the violin. I know how to play the piano. And I know how to connect a wire to a terminal. Watch carefully. There's a hole, a round hole, and there's a screw. You put the wire in the hole. And you tighten the screw.
Aha.
Tight.
Loose.
To tighten.
To loosen.
To tighten a screw.
To loosen a screw.
Yes, you put the wire in the hole and you tighten the screw. That's how to do it.
And this is how to play the piano.
That's how to do it.
This is how to play the violin.
Yes, that's how to do it.
And this is how to switch on a radio. And this is how to switch it off.
To switch on.
To switch off.
To switch on a light. To switch off a light.
To switch on a TV. To switch off a TV.
To switch on a radio. To switch off a radio.
But of course, you can't switch on a radio or a TV or a light if the electricity's off.
If the electricity is on, there's electricity.
If the electricity is off, there's no electricity.
And you can't switch on a radio or a TV or a light if there's no electricity. If the electricity's off.
On, off.
And the electricity is off in Mr. Lovejoy's house. But the man from the electricity board is coming back.
Have you finished, Mr. Lovejoy?
Almost, Coco, almost. Pass that cable.
The man will be back soon.
I know, but I've got to do this wiring properly. Electricity can be very dangerous.
I know.
Now, watch carefully. This is how to wire a switch properly. You connect this wire to the live terminal in the switch, and this one to the neutral terminal.
It's the other way round, Mr. Lovejoy.
You connect them to the terminals,
Wait.
and tighten the screws.
Mr. Lovejoy, it's the other way round.
The other way round? What do you mean?
The wires are the wrong way round. Brown is live and blue is neutral.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant, of course. Brown is live and blue is neutral. I know that. Now, the terminals in the switch are marked L for live and N for neutral. Oh, it's so dark in here, I can't see. Switch on the light, Coco.
Mr. Lovejoy, the electricity's off.
Eh?
Because you're rewiring?
Oh, yes.
The man's back.
Oh, how could you? I'm still not ready. Can you come back in 15 minutes?
Okay.
This won't take me long, Coco.
Mr. Lovejoy is rewiring his house properly because electricity can be dangerous.
Guns can be dangerous.
They can be very dangerous.
Snakes can be dangerous.
They can be very dangerous.
And electricity can be dangerous.
It can kill.
But electricity isn't dangerous if you wire it properly, if you connect the wires to the right terminals.
And if you use it properly.
Properly, correctly, in the right way. Now, this switch is wired properly.
The brown wire is connected to the live terminal.
The blue wire is connected to the neutral terminal.
The wires are the right way round. This switch is not wired properly.
The blue wire is connected to the live terminal.
And the brown wire is connected to the neutral terminal.
The wires are the wrong way round.
The right way round.
The wrong way round.
This is the wrong way round. This is the right way round.
right way round?
The wrong way round.
Now, when things are the wrong way round, you change them round.
If your left shoe is on your right foot, and if your right shoe is on your left foot, you change them round.
You put the left shoe on the left foot and the right shoe on the right foot. You change them round.
Yes, you change the shoes round. Now, Mr. Lovejoy's ready. He's finished the rewiring, but has he connected the wires the right way round?
There. That's it. It's done. The wires are all connected. Have a look, Coco. That is how to wire a switch.
The live and the neutral are the wrong way round, Mr. Lovejoy.
The wrong way round? What do you mean?
You've connected the wires to the wrong terminals. Blue's neutral and brown's live.
Eh?
You've connected them the wrong way round.
Oh, it's so dark in here.
Shall I change them round, Mr. Lovejoy?
Yes, all right. You've got to learn sometime.
Thanks, Mr. Lovejoy.
The terminals are all marked. Can you see the letters in the socket? L-E-N?
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy.
And make sure the screws are tight.
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy. There. I've changed the wires round.
Good lad. Did you tighten the screws?
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy.
Well done, well done. Ah, there's the man. We're in here.
Well, you ready now?
Oh, yes, we're ready.
Good.
I rewired the house myself, you know. It's all my own work.
Hey, Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh, yes, Coco rewired the switch. He's learning.
Really? This is very good, Coco. Well done.
Thanks.
Right, I'll connect you to the mains.
The man from the electricity board is connecting the house to the mains. And there we leave them. The technical terms in the programme were:
He's rewiring the house.
Switch on the light.
Switch off the television.
The electricity's off.
The cable has 3 wires in it. Live, neutral, and earth.
Connect the right wire to the right terminal.
Connect the house to the mains.
Wire the switch properly.
The right way round.
The wrong way round.
Electricity can be dangerous.
Put the wire in the hole.
Tighten the screw.
Loosen the screw.
That's how to do it.
join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was all my own work, oh yes, it was all my own work. Yes, it was.
Right, you're connected to the mains, Mr. Lovejoy.
Then switch on the electricity.
Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh, dear. What do you think of it?
It's great, Mr. Lovejoy. Did you do it yourself?
Oh, yes, Coco. It's all my own work.
All My Own Work, a course in everyday technical English. Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house which needs restoring.
To restore,
To fix.
to make good again.
And he's going to do up the house himself, with the help of his young friend Coco. To do up a house means to restore it.
Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to restore the house themselves.
Yes, they're going to do it up themselves.
It'll be all their own work.
Today, Mr. Lovejoy is drilling a hole in the kitchen floor.
The kitchen floor.
A room has a ceiling,
A room has 4 walls.
and a room has a floor.
A ceiling, 4 walls, and a floor.
The ceiling is above your head,
The floor is under your feet.
and the walls are between the ceiling and the floor.
Mr. Lovejoy is drilling a hole in the kitchen floor. He's using a power drill.
This is a power drill. A power drill.
A power drill is an electric drill. Yes, Mr. Lovejoy is using an electric drill to drill a hole in the kitchen floor. He believes there's a cellar under the kitchen.
A cellar, a room under the house.
A cellar is an extra room under the house.
And Mr. Lovejoy believes there is a cellar under his house. He wants to see it.
What's that, Mr. Lovejoy?
It's a power drill, Coco.
I know. I know it's a power drill, Mr. Lovejoy, but what's it for?
It's for drilling holes.
And are you going to drill a hole, Mr. Lovejoy?
I am, Coco. I'm going to drill a hole in the floor.
Which floor?
This one.
You're going to drill a hole in this floor.
I am.
Why?
Because, Coco, according to the plans of the house, there's a cellar under the kitchen.
Under here?
Yes, these are the plans.
Let's have a look.
There. There, Coco. Huh? A cellar.
Oh, yes. Directly under the kitchen.
I want to see it, so I'm going to make a hole in the floor with this drill.
But it's a concrete floor, Mr. Lovejoy.
That's right.
That drill won't be strong enough.
Well, let's see.
The drill isn't strong enough. You can't drill a hole in a concrete floor with a drill like that, Mr. Lovejoy. It isn't strong enough. You need a sledgehammer.
Bring a sledgehammer. Let's have a cup of tea.
So Mr. Lovejoy is drilling a hole in his kitchen floor because he wants to see the cellar. According to the plans of the house, there's a cellar under the kitchen.
A plan is a picture.
A plan is a diagram.
A plan of a house shows the size of the house.
It shows the shape of the house.
It shows the rooms.
The bathroom, the bedrooms, the sitting room, the dining room.
And the kitchen.
Yes, a plan shows the rooms. It also shows the attic and the cellar.
The attic is an extra room at the top of the house, above the bedrooms. The attic.
And the cellar is an extra room under the house.
Yes, a plan shows the rooms, and it shows where they are.
According to these plans, the bathroom is upstairs.
According to the plans, the bedroom is next to the bathroom.
According to the plans, the sitting room is downstairs.
According to the plans, the kitchen is next to the sitting room.
And according to the plans of Mr. Lovejoy's house, there's a cellar under the kitchen. So Mr. Lovejoy is drilling a hole in the floor.
Not in the ceiling.
Not in the wall.
But in the floor. To drill a hole in something. And he's using a drill. A power drill. Drill is a noun and a verb.
To use a drill.
A drill is a noun.
To drill a hole.
To drill is a verb.
What's that?
It's a drill.
What's it for?
It's for drilling holes.
For drilling.
What's that?
It's a hairdryer.
What's it for?
It's for drying hair.
For drying.
What's that?
It's a record player.
What's it for?
It's for playing records.
For playing.
What would you like to hear?
Some guitar music?
Right.
Yes, a record player is for playing records.
A hairdryer is for drying hair.
And a power drill is for drilling holes.
And Mr. Lovejoy is using his drill to drill a hole in the kitchen floor. Now there are wooden floors and there are concrete floors. Wooden floors are made of wood. Concrete floors are made of concrete.
This is a wooden floor.
This is a concrete floor.
And Mr. Lovejoy's kitchen has a concrete floor, which is very hard. That's the problem.
What's that, Mr. Lovejoy?
It's a sledgehammer, Coco.
I know it's a sledgehammer, Mr. Lovejoy, but what's it for?
It's for making holes in concrete floors.
Oh, you're going to make a hole in the floor with it.
No, Coco, I'm not.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm not going to make a hole. You are.
Me?
Yes. I'm too old.
Hey, Mr. Lovejoy, are you sure there's a cellar under here?
It's in the plans, Coco.
The plans may be wrong,
And they may be right.
but it's a concrete floor.
I know it's a concrete floor. That's why we're using a sledgehammer.
Okay, Mr. Lovejoy. God, this concrete's hard.
Of course it's hard. Concrete's supposed to be hard.
This floor's solid concrete.
Coco, concrete's supposed to be solid.
Oh, it's no good, Mr. Lovejoy. I can't make a hole in this floor, not with a sledgehammer. It's too hard. We need a pneumatic drill.
A pneumatic drill. Very funny, lad. Let's have a cup of tea.
So Mr. Lovejoy can't make a hole in the kitchen floor with a power drill because the floor is too hard.
A power drill.
And Coco can't make a hole in the floor with a sledgehammer because the floor's too hard.
A sledgehammer.
A sledgehammer is a big hammer.
A very big hammer.
And Coco can't make a hole even with a sledgehammer because the floor is too hard.
Yes, the floor is very hard.
It's solid concrete.
Solid concrete. Solid means strong.
A solid house is a strong house.
A solid wall is a strong wall.
A solid floor is a strong floor.
So a solid concrete floor is very strong. Solid concrete is very, very hard. Mr. Lovejoy's got a power drill, but it isn't strong enough because the floor's too hard.
The floor's too hard.
The drill's not strong enough.
Too hard.
Not strong enough.
And Coco's got a sledgehammer, but he isn't strong enough because the floor's too hard.
The floor's too hard.
Coco isn't strong enough.
Too hard.
Not strong enough.
I've never used a sledgehammer.
I've never used a power drill.
A power drill's easy to use. You start it like this. And you stop it like this.
I've never used a hairdryer.
It's easy. You start it like this. And you stop it like this.
Start it like this.
Stop it like this.
Start.
Stop.
Now, Mr. Lovejoy wants to make a hole in the kitchen floor so he can see the cellar.
But perhaps the plans are wrong.
Perhaps the plans are not correct.
According to the plans, there's a cellar under the kitchen.
But perhaps the plans are wrong.
Perhaps there isn't a cellar.
If the plans are right, there is a cellar. If they're wrong, there isn't.
To be right.
To be wrong.
Are the plans right, or are the plans wrong? Coco and Mr. Lovejoy don't know.
The plans may be right.
The plans may be wrong.
Coco doesn't know.
Mr. Lovejoy doesn't know.
And we don't know. Here are Coco and Mr. Lovejoy.
What's that, Mr. Lovejoy?
It's a pneumatic drill, Coco.
A pneumatic drill?
Yes.
What's it for? What's it for, Mr. Lovejoy?
It's for making holes in concrete, of course.
Oh, no.
It's for making holes in solid concrete.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. According to these plans, there is a cellar under this kitchen, and I want to see it.
But the plans may be wrong, Mr. Lovejoy.
I think they're right.
But I've never used a pneumatic drill.
It's easy, Coco. You start it like this. And you stop it like this. You see? It's easy, Coco.
Okay, Mr. Lovejoy. Phew. Sorry, Mr. Lovejoy. I can't do it, even with a pneumatic drill. The floor's just too hard.
Oh, well, you did your best. Thank you, Coco.
You would need dynamite to make a hole in a floor like this.
Never mind. Let's have a cup of tea.
And there we leave Coco and Mr. Lovejoy having a cup of tea. The technical expressions in today's programme were:
I've never used a power drill.
You start it like this. You stop it like this.
What's it for?
It's for drilling holes. I'm going to drill a hole in the floor.
Ceiling, wall, floor.
A wooden floor.
A concrete floor.
The drill isn't strong enough.
The floor is too hard.
According to the plans, there is a cellar under the kitchen.
The plans may be wrong.
The plans may be right.
Join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was all my own work. Oh, yes. It was all my own work. Yes, it was.
What's that, Mr. Lovejoy?
It's dynamite, Coco.
Oh, no.
There. You see? The plans are right. There is a cellar under the kitchen.
Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house. An old house which needs restoring.
To restore.
To fix.
To make good again.
And he's going to do up the house himself, with the help of his young friend Coco. To do up a house means to restore it.
Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to restore the house themselves.
Yes, they're going to do it up themselves. Today, Mr. Lovejoy is building a new floor in the kitchen.
A room has a ceiling.
A room has 4 walls.
And a room has a floor.
The ceiling is above your head.
The floor is under your feet.
And Mr. Lovejoy is building a floor in the kitchen. There aren't any floorboards yet. Mr. Lovejoy is building a wooden floor. Not a concrete floor, a wooden floor. Wood, wooden.
A floor made of wood.
A wooden floor.
Yes, he's building a wooden floor, so he's using floorboards. Floorboards are wood.
They're 15 centimetres wide and 2.5 centimetres thick.
How do you know they're 15 centimetres wide and 2.5 centimetres thick?
I measured one. I measured this one. Look. It's 15 centimetres wide and 2.5 centimetres thick.
And Mr. Lovejoy is about to put the new floorboards in his kitchen.
There.
Hi, Mr. Lovejoy.
Ah, Coco. Be careful where you walk. There are no floorboards.
Yeah, I can see.
I'm going to put them down now.
What?
The floorboards. I'm going to put them in position now.
But they're too long.
What are?
The floorboards.
Of course they're too long. They have to be cut.
Shall I cut them?
No, they have to be measured first.
Well, shall I measure them?
No, Oh, I'll measure them, Coco. They have to be measured accurately.
I can do that, Mr. Lovejoy.
Measure them accurately?
Yes.
Don't be ridiculous, Coco. Measuring floorboards is a job for a man.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Floorboards have to be the right length, you see, Coco. Now, where is the measuring tape?
It's there.
Good.
So, what shall I do?
You can hold the end of the measuring tape. Here.
How wide's the kitchen?
It's 3 meters 40. So I cut the floorboard here.
Here's the saw.
Thanks, Coco. Now,
Measured.
Will you measure this table, please?
It's about 2 meters long and about 1 meter wide.
The verb to measure. Mr. Lovejoy has to measure his kitchen. His kitchen has to be measured.
To measure.
To be measured.
Mr. Lovejoy has to measure the floorboards. The floorboards have to be measured.
To measure.
To be measured.
And they have to be measured accurately.
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 How long is this table?
It's about 2 meters long.
Is that accurate?
No, it isn't. It's approximate.
Okay. Measure it accurately.
Right. It's exactly 1 meter and 95 centimeters long.
That's accurate.
Yes, she measured it accurately.
Accurate? Accurately.
But to measure a table, or a room, or a floorboard accurately, you need a measuring tape.
Like this.
And Mr. Lovejoy has measured the floorboard with a measuring tape. Now he's cutting it with a saw.
There. Perfect. Well done, Coco.
But I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. You held the end of the tape. You were helping. Well done.
Thanks, Mr. Lovejoy.
Now, let's put this floorboard in position. You take that end.
Right, Mr. Lovejoy. It's too long, Mr. Lovejoy.
What's too long?
The floorboard. It doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit. You're right. You made a mistake, Coco.
Me? I didn't do anything.
You were holding the end of the tape, and you made a mistake.
But I didn't.
Look, don't worry, lad. We'll make mistakes when we're young.
Oh.
I'll measure it again, and you can watch me. How wide is the room?
3 meters 40, you said.
Good. And this floorboard is 3 meters 50. So I have to cut off
10 centimeters.
That's right. 10 centimeters.
So, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy have made a mistake. The floorboard is too long.
The kitchen is 3 meters 40.
The floorboard is 3 meters 50.
The floorboard is 10 centimeters too long.
Yes, someone made a mistake. To make a mistake.
What's 2 and 2?
5.
No, wrong. You made a mistake. 2 and 2 is 4. What's 3 and 3?
7.
No, wrong. You made a mistake. 3 and 3 is 6. What's 4 and 4?
9.
No, wrong. You made a mistake. 4 and 4 is 8.
To make a mistake.
We all make mistakes.
That's true.
Game to finish.
Tennis.
How long is a tennis court?
It's about 24 meters long.
How wide is a tennis court?
It's about 11 meters wide.
That's right.
I didn't make a mistake that time.
How long is a tennis court? It's 24 metres long. How wide is a tennis court? It's 11 metres wide. And how wide is Mr. Lovejoy's kitchen?
It's 3 metres 40 wide.
So if the floorboard is 3 metres 50, it's too long.
It's 10 centimetres too long.
If the floorboard is 3 metres 30, it's too short.
It's 10 centimetres too short.
Too long.
Too short.
10 centimetres too long.
10 centimetres too short.
In fact, the floorboard is too long. Mr. Lovejoy has to cut off some more.
Here we are. So, I cut the floorboard here.
Shall I cut it?
Oh, no, lad. It has to be cut in the right place.
I can do that.
What, cut a floorboard?
Yes.
Don't be ridiculous, Coco. You're only a lad. Cutting floorboards is a job for a man. Now, where's the saw?
Here it is, Mr. Lovejoy. So what shall I do?
You hold the end of the floorboard while I cut it.
So first the floorboard has to be measured, then it has to be cut with a saw. This is a saw. The floorboard has to be cut with a saw in the right place.
The right place.
The wrong place.
It has to be cut in the right place. Then it has to be put in position.
In position.
It has to be put on the floor in the right position.
In the right place.
In position.
Yes, the floorboard has to be put in position. And it has to be the right length.
Not too long.
Not too short.
The right length.
Long. Length.
The length is 3 metres 50.
Length is a noun.
It's 3 metres 50 long.
Long is an adjective.
Long. Length.
And the floorboard has to be the right length. If it isn't, it won't fit.
I'd like to buy some shoes.
These shoes are nice.
They don't fit. They're too small.
These shoes are nice.
They don't fit. They're too big.
These shoes are nice.
Yes, they fit perfectly.
They fit. They don't fit. They fit perfectly.
They're exactly the right size.
Now Mr. Lovejoy is almost ready to put the floorboard in position.
There. This floorboard is now exactly the right length. Very well done, Coco.
But I didn't do anything.
Oh, yes, you did. You held the end of the wood. Yes, Coco. You were helping. Now, let's put it in position. You take that end.
Right.
There. The floorboard fits.
It doesn't fit here, Mr. Lovejoy. It's too short.
Too short? It's okay at this end.
It's about 40 centimetres too short here.
Eh? Yeah. Oh, no. You made another mistake, Coco.
But I didn't do anything, Mr. Lovejoy.
You were helping. You were holding the end of the wood. You made a mistake, Coco.
Oh.
We'll have to do it again.
I'll get another floorboard.
All right.
There. Here we are. Another floorboard. And this time, Mr. Lovejoy, I'm going to measure it, and I'm going to cut it.
You?
Yes.
That's a job for a man.
Don't worry, Mr. Lovejoy. You can hold the end of the tape.
Ah, yes. Yes, we don't want any more mistakes.
And there we leave our two friends working on the new floor. The technical terms in today's program were:
It has to be measured accurately.
It has to be cut in the right place.
The measuring tape.
The saw.
Hold the end of the measuring tape.
Hold the end of the saw.
This end, that end.
How long is it?
It's 3 meters long.
How wide is it?
It's 2 meters wide.
You made a mistake. It's too wide.
It's too long. It's 10 centimeters too long.
It's the right length.
It fits.
It doesn't fit.
It fits perfectly.
Join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was
There, it fits, Mr. Lovejoy. The floorboard fits. It's a job for a man, and I did it.
Ah, yes, Coco. But I was helping. Do you think of it?
It's great, Mr. Lovejoy. Did you do it yourself?
Oh, yes, Coco. It's all my own work.
It's all my own work.
My Own Work, a course in everyday technical English. Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house which needs restoring.
To restore.
To do up.
To make good again.
And he's doing it up himself.
With the help of his young friend, Coco.
Yes, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are doing up the house themselves.
It'll be all.
Today, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are preparing the sitting room and the hall for painting. They're preparing the walls.
The walls.
They're preparing the woodwork.
The woodwork.
Yes, they're preparing the walls and the woodwork for painting.
Right, Coco, we got to wash down the wall.
Right, Mr. Lovejoy.
Now, you need a bucket of water and some detergent and a cloth for the walls. And you need some sandpaper for the woodwork.
Right, Mr. Lovejoy.
So, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are preparing the walls and the woodwork.
The woodwork.
The woodwork is all the parts of the room which are wood.
The door is wood.
The door frame is wood.
The window frame is wood.
Yes, these parts of the room are the woodwork.
Work.
Woodwork.
The woodwork.
Coco is preparing the woodwork and the walls in the sitting room. Mr. Lovejoy is preparing the woodwork and the walls in the hall. They're washing down the walls.
To wash.
To wash down.
To wash down the walls.
And to wash down the walls, you need a bucket of water.
A bucket.
A bucket of water. This is a bucket of water.
You need a bucket of water with detergent in it.
Detergent.
Detergent.
Detergent is like soap.
It cleans like soap.
Detergent cleans.
You need a bucket of water with detergent in it. You also need a cloth.
A cloth.
You put the cloth in the water. Then you wash the walls with the cloth.
That's right.
So you need a bucket of water, some detergent, and a cloth for the walls. And for the woodwork, you need sandpaper.
This is sandpaper.
Paper.
Sandpaper.
You need sandpaper.
You need a piece of sandpaper.
That's right. To sandpaper the woodwork, you need some sandpaper. Well, Coco has got a bucket of water, he's got a cloth, he's got a piece of sandpaper, and he's working hard when a visitor arrives.
Hi, Coco.
Oh, hello, Kathy.
Do you want to come to the cinema with me?
Oh, yeah. Just a minute. Just finish that right there. Right. Hey, Mr. Lovejoy. I'm going to the cinema with Kathy.
Oh. Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Mr. Lovejoy.
We're going to the cinema.
Really? Oh, I love the cinema.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh, is the room ready to paint, Coco? I want to paint it tomorrow.
Yes, I've washed down the walls and I've sanded the woodwork.
Good lad. What about these holes?
What hole?
These holes.
Where?
Here.
Them? Oh, they won't show.
They will show. They've got to be filled. Here you are, lad. Here's some filler. Now, mix it with some water and fill the holes. It won't take long. Oh, yes, Kathy. I love the cinema.
So, Coco wants to go to the cinema with his friend Kathy. But is the room ready to paint? Mr. Lovejoy wants to paint the sitting room tomorrow. Paint is a verb.
To paint a room white.
To paint a room green.
To paint a room blue.
To paint a room yellow.
Paint is also a noun.
White paint.
Green paint.
Blue paint.
Yellow paint.
Yes, paint is a noun and a verb. Mr. Lovejoy wants to paint the sitting room tomorrow. And Coco wants to go to the cinema this evening. So, is the room ready to paint?
Ready to paint.
Ready. Is the car ready?
Yes, you can drive it now.
It's ready to drive. It's ready to be driven.
Oh, good. Bye.
Ready to drive.
Ready to be driven.
To drive.
To be driven.
But is Mr. Lovejoy's sitting room ready to paint? Is it ready to be painted?
To paint.
To be painted.
Well, is it ready to paint? Is it ready to be painted? Coco has washed down the walls.
To wash.
You can wash your hands. You can wash your face.
And you can wash down a wall.
To wash down.
And Coco has sanded the woodwork, like this.
To sand the woodwork.
To sandpaper the woodwork.
Sand is short for sandpaper. Sand is a verb, and sandpaper is a noun and a verb.
Coco has sandpapered the woodwork
There it's a verb,
with a piece of sandpaper.
and there it's a noun. Now, we said that the woodwork is
The door,
The door frame.
the window frame.
and any other parts that are wood.
The door frame is the wood round the door.
The window frame is the wood round the window.
And Coco has sanded the woodwork. But what about the holes?
What about the holes in the walls?
What about the small holes in the walls?
He didn't fill them. Coco washed the walls. He sanded the woodwork. But he didn't fill the holes in the walls. Here he is.
Coco, are you coming to the cinema with me or not?
Hang on. Just coming. Right. Hey, Mr. Lovejoy.
Yeah.
I'm going to the cinema now.
Ah, you lucky people. I love the cinema, you know.
See you tomorrow, Mr. Lovejoy.
So, is the room ready to paint now, Coco? I want to paint it tomorrow.
Yes, I've washed down the walls, I've sanded the woodwork, and I've filled the holes.
Well done, lad. What about these holes?
Which holes?
Well, these holes.
Which holes?
These.
Oh, they're so small, they won't show.
Oh, yes, they will. They'll show. They've got to be filled. Now, where's the filler?
Here.
Mix a little filler with some water and fill them. There's a good lad.
Hang on, Kathy. This won't take long.
Ah, yes, the cinema. Do you like the cinema, Kathy?
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy.
So do I, Kathy. So do I.
So, the room is still not ready to paint. There are still some holes to fill, but they're very small. Will they show?
Will they show?
Will they be seen?
Will you see them?
When the room is painted, will you see the holes?
Will they show?
Mr. Lovejoy thinks they will show. Coco thinks they won't show.
There's a hole in my trousers.
It doesn't show.
We can't see the hole.
The hole doesn't show.
There's a hole in my shoe.
It doesn't show.
We can't see the hole.
The hole doesn't show.
There's a hole in my shirt.
It doesn't show.
We can't see the hole.
The hole doesn't show.
And will the holes in Mr. Lovejoy's walls show?
Coco says they won't.
Mr. Lovejoy says they will.
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy says they've got to be filled with filler.
Filler is a powder.
You mix it with water, like this. Some filler, some water. Mix the filler with the water. And the filler is ready.
Yes, the filler is ready to use because it's mixed with water.
The verb mix.
If you mix saltpeter with sulfur and with carbon, you have gunpowder.
Yes, if you mix saltpeter with sulfur and carbon, you have gunpowder.
The verb mix.
Now, if there's a hole in your tooth, the dentist will fill it.
He'll put something in it.
He'll fill it with something.
If there's a hole in the road, a road mender will fill it.
He'll put something in it.
He'll fill it with something.
And if there's a hole in the wall, Coco must fill it with filler.
To fill a hole in a tooth.
To fill a hole in the road.
To fill a hole in a wall. With filler.
To fill with filler.
To fill. Filler.
And filling a hole in a wall doesn't take long.
It's quick.
It's a quick job.
It doesn't take long.
It takes a long time.
It doesn't take long.
It takes a long time to write a book.
It takes a long time to make a film.
It takes a long time to build a house.
It doesn't take long to read a book.
It doesn't take long to watch a film.
And it doesn't take long to fill a hole. Which is lucky, because Coco wants to go to the cinema.
Coco, do you want to come to the cinema with me? Because I'm going now.
Hang on, I'm coming. Hey, Mr. Lovejoy.
Yeah?
I'm going to the cinema with Kathy now.
Well, have a good time. The room is ready to paint now, isn't it, Coco?
Yes, Mr. Lovejoy, I've washed down the walls, I've sanded the woodwork, and I've filled all the holes.
Well done, lad. Well done. Oh, what about these cracks?
Which cracks?
These cracks.
They won't show.
They will show. They got to be filled. Mix a little water with a little filler and fill them before you go, Coco. I want to paint this room tomorrow.
Oh.
Come on, Coco.
Don't worry, Kathy. It won't take long. And then you can go to the cinema. The cinema.
And there we must leave Coco filling the cracks and hoping to go to the cinema with Kathy. The technical terms in today's programme were:
They're preparing the room for painting.
They're going to paint it.
White paint, red paint.
I've washed down the walls.
I've sanded the woodwork.
Here is a piece of sandpaper.
There are holes in the walls.
There are cracks in the walls.
They'll show.
They won't show.
They've got to be filled.
Fill them with filler.
Mix the filler with water.
It doesn't take long.
The room is ready to paint.
Join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was all my own work. Oh yes, it was all my own work. Yes, it was.
Mr. Lovejoy, do you want to come to the cinema with us?
Hey? Oh, yes, I'd love to. I love the cinema. Come on, Coco, let's go.
What about those cracks?
Oh, don't worry about them. They won't show. What do you think of it?
It's great, Mr. Lovejoy. Did you do it yourself?
Oh, yes, Coco. It's all my own work.
Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house which needs restoring.
To restore.
To do up.
To make good again.
And he's doing it up himself.
With the help of his young friend, Coco.
Yes, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are doing up the house themselves.
It'll be all their own work. Oh yes, it'll be all their own work. Yes, it will.
Today, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are buying paint. They're going to paint the sitting room.
They're going to paint it.
They need some paint.
So they've gone to the shops to buy some. Here they are.
Morning, Coco.
Hello.
Morning, Mr. Lovejoy.
Good morning.
How's the house?
Fine, fine.
Good. Now, how can I help you?
We'd like to buy some paint.
Well, we've got lots of paint.
So, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy need some paint to paint the sitting room. Paint is a noun and a verb.
Red paint.
White paint.
Blue paint.
There, paint is a noun.
To paint a room red.
To paint a room white.
To paint a room blue.
There, paint is a verb. Now, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to paint the sitting room. How much paint do they need?
1 litre?
10 litres?
100 litres?
110 litres?
How much paint do Coco and Mr. Lovejoy need? Well, how big is the room?
How big is it?
What size is it?
They have to measure it.
The sitting room is 4.5 metres long.
It's 3 metres wide.
And it's 2.4 metres high.
Yes, they have to measure the room. And they have to calculate the area they're going to paint.
The area.
The room is 4.5 metres long and 3 metres wide. So the area of the ceiling is 4.5 metres by 3.
That's 13.5 square metres.
That's 13.5 square metres.
Yes. Coco and Mr. Lovejoy have to calculate the area they're going to paint. Here they are at the shop.
Well, Mr. Lovejoy, what kind of paint would you like?
Cheap paint.
Of course.
We want white emulsion, please.
Oh, white emulsion. And how much do you need? A litre of emulsion covers between 11 and 15 square metres.
We have to cover about 46 square metres.
How many coats are you going to put on?
2.
Well, you need about 4 litres for each coat. So you need about 8 litres in all.
How do you sell your paint?
In cans, Mr. Lovejoy, in cans.
Very funny.
In 1 litre cans, in 2.5 litre cans, and in 5 litre cans.
And how much is it?
Emulsion is £8 per litre.
£8 per litre? We want paint, not perfume.
That's the price, Mr. Lovejoy.
Well, it's too expensive. Come on, Coco, let's go.
Don't worry, Mr. Lovejoy. We'll find some paint.
So, what kind of paint do Coco and Mr. Lovejoy want?
Emulsion.
Yes, they want white emulsion.
Emulsion.
Gloss.
Emulsion paint.
Gloss paint.
You put emulsion on the walls.
You put gloss on the woodwork. The doors, the door frames, the window frames, the woodwork.
Emulsion is made with water.
Gloss is made with oil.
If you have emulsion on your hands, you can wash it off with water.
If you have gloss on your hands, you can't wash it off with water. You need spirit or alcohol or petrol.
Gloss takes 6 to 8 hours to dry.
Emulsion takes 2 to 4 hours to dry.
Gloss.
Emulsion.
And Coco and Mr. Lovejoy want emulsion. White emulsion. But how much paint do they need?
1 litre covers 11 to 15 square metres.
1 litre covers between 11 and 15 square metres.
Covers.
1 litre is enough for 11 to 15 square metres.
1 litre covers 11 to 15 square metres.
Covers. A square 2 metres long and 2 metres wide has an area of 4 square metres.
2 2s are 4.
That's right.
A square 10 metres long and 10 metres wide, has an area of 100 square metres.
10 tens are 100.
That's right, too.
Mr. Lovejoy's sitting room is 3 metres by 4.5 metres by 2.4 metres.
It's 3 metres wide.
It's 4.5 metres long.
It's 3 metres by 4.5 metres.
And it's 2.4 metres high.
So the room is 3 metres by 4.5 metres by 2.4 metres. Now, this room is 8 metres long and 5 metres wide.
It's 8 metres by 5 metres.
And it's 4 metres high.
So this room is 8 metres by 5 metres by 4 metres.
Yes, it's a big room.
Now, to calculate the area that Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to paint, first calculate the surface area of the ceiling.
The area.
The surface area.
And the surface area of the ceiling is 3 metres by 4.5 metres. So, the surface area of the ceiling is 13.5 square metres. 13.5 square metres.
The area.
The surface area.
Then calculate the surface area of the walls.
The long walls are 10.8 square metres each.
The short walls are 7.2 square metres each.
The area.
The surface area.
And so the total surface area is
13.5
Plus 10.8.
plus 10.8
Plus 7.2.
plus 7.2
Square metres.
which is 49.5
square metres.
Minus the surface area of the doors and windows, which is about 3.9
Square metres.
And so the area that Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to paint is 49.5 minus 3.9, which is 45.6
Square metres. It's easy.
Oh, I don't know.
Plus.
Minus.
What's 10 plus 5?
15.
Correct.
What's 10 minus 5?
5
Correct.
plus.
Minus.
Now we know that Mr. Lovejoy has to cover 45.6 square metres. And we know that a litre of emulsion covers 11 to 15 square metres. So, Mr. Lovejoy needs about 4 litres.
Wrong. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Why?
Because he's going to put on 2 coats.
Ah.
A coat of paint.
The first coat.
The second coat.
The third coat.
You paint the wall.
That's the first coat.
When the wall's dry, you paint it again.
That's the second coat.
When the wall's dry, you paint it again.
That's the third coat.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Lovejoy is going to put on 2 coats, so he needs 8 litres of emulsion, not 4. But the paint in that shop is very expensive. But Coco knows a man who sells paint. Maybe his paint's cheaper.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Coco.
This is Mr. Lovejoy.
Hello, Mr. Lovejoy.
How'd you do?
We'd like to buy some paint.
Certainly. What kind of paint?
Emulsion.
How much do you need? 1 litre covers 11 to 15 square metres.
We have to cover about 46 square metres.
How many coats are you going to put on?
2.
Well, you need about 4 litres per coat. So, you need about 8 litres in all.
How do you sell your paint, Jack?
In 1 litre, 2.5 and 5 litre cans.
And how much is it?
Emulsion is £2 per litre.
That's good.
Yes. Can we have 8 litres of white?
Ah, I haven't got white.
What colours have you got?
Pink?
Only pink.
Yes, bright pink. Very nice.
We want white.
Sorry, I haven't got any white.
Come on, Coco, let's go.
Don't worry, Mr. Lovejoy. We'll find some paint.
I hope so.
So, Jack hasn't got the right colour. What colour do Coco and Mr. Lovejoy want?
White.
What kind of paint do they want?
Emulsion.
How much do they want?
8 litres.
How much is Jack's paint?
£2 per litre.
Per litre.
That's cheap.
And how much was the paint in the other shop?
£8 per litre.
Per litre.
That's expensive.
And how do they sell paint?
In cans.
In 1 litre cans.
In 2.5 litre cans.
And in 5 litre cans.
Yes, they sell paint in cans.
Cans.
A can of paint.
A can of Coke.
A can of beer.
A can of petrol.
I'd like a can of paint, please.
What size do you want?
Small.
A small can of paint. I'd like a can of paint, please.
What size do you want?
Medium.
A medium-sized can of paint. I'd like a can of paint, please.
What size do you want?
Large.
A large can of paint.
What size do you want?
Large, medium, small.
And Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are still trying to buy paint. They visit another friend of Coco's called Bobby.
Hello, Bobby.
Hi, Coco.
We'd like to buy some paint.
Certainly. What colour do you want?
White. Have you got white?
Yeah. How much do you need?
8 litres.
8 litres? What size is the room?
It's 3 metres by 4.5 metres and 2.4 metres high. So we thought 8 litres was about right.
Well...
How much is your paint?
Sorry, Bobby, this is Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh, hello.
How do you do? Now, how much is it?
Well, the paint's £4 per litre.
Yeah, and
but
it comes in 1, 2.5 and 5 litre cans, I suppose?
Yeah, but we haven't...
Well, that's fine then. Can we have 8 litres of white emulsion?
But I haven't got emulsion.
What?
I've only got white gloss.
We need emulsion.
I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, Coco, let's go.
Bye, Bobby. Don't worry, Mr. Lovejoy. We'll find some paint.
Yes, but where?
And there we must leave Coco and Mr. Lovejoy looking for paint. The technical terms in this programme were...
What kind of paint do you want?
Gloss. Emulsion.
What colour do you want?
White.
What size is the room?
It's 5 metres by 4 metres by 3 metres. The ceiling is 13.5 square metres.
The area is 13.5 square metres.
13.5.
13.5. How much paint do you need? A litre covers 11 to 15 square metres.
I need 8 litres. How much is it?
It's £5 per litre.
Join us next time for more everyday technical English. That was All My Own Work.
It was all my own work. Oh yes, it was all my own work. Yes, it was.
Do you want some paint?
What?
Do you want some paint?
What kind of paint?
White emulsion.
How much is it?
£1 per litre.
How much have you got?
8 litres.
You see, Coco, I told you we'd find some.
Bye.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
It's great, Mr. Lovejoy. Did you do it yourself?
Oh, yes, Coco. It's all my own work.
It's
Mr. Lovejoy has bought an old house which needs restoring.
To restore,
To do up.
to make good again,
And he's doing it up himself.
with the help of his young friend Coco.
Yes, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are doing up the house themselves.
It'll be all their own work. Oh yes, it'll be all their own work. Yes, it will.
In today's programme, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to paint the sitting room. To paint a room.
The room is white.
You paint it blue.
The room is blue.
To paint a sitting room.
The sitting room is white.
You paint it blue.
The sitting room is blue.
And Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are going to paint the sitting room in Mr. Lovejoy's house. They're going to paint it white.
Right, Mr. Lovejoy. The paint's ready, the brushes are ready, the room's ready.
And the tea's ready.
Oh, great. We can have a cup of tea, then we can start.
Yes. A nice cup of tea. Ugh, this tea is disgusting.
Ugh, the milk's off.
Cool. It's sour.
Oh, dear. The milk is off. The milk is sour. It's off.
The milk's disgusting because it's off.
Yes, the tea's disgusting because the milk is off. But the room is ready.
It's ready to paint.
They can paint it now. It's ready.
And the paint's ready.
It's ready to use.
They can use it now. It's ready.
And the brushes are ready.
They're ready to use.
They can use them now. They're ready.
The room's ready.
The paint's ready.
And the brushes are ready.
A brush.
A paintbrush.
If you're going to paint a room, you need a brush.
You need a paintbrush.
You put the brush in the paint and you paint the walls.
Yes, you need a brush.
You need a paintbrush.
And the brushes are ready.
The paintbrushes are ready.
But before you paint a room, you must stir the paint.
You can stir tea like this.
You put a spoon in the tea. And you move the spoon round and round.
Yes, you stir the tea. And you can stir paint.
You put a piece of wood in the paint.
You move the piece of wood round and round.
Yes, you stir the paint. Lots of paint needs stirring before you use it. Now here are Coco and Mr. Lovejoy.
Have you stirred the tea, Coco?
The tea?
I mean the paint. Have you stirred the paint?
Does it need stirring?
Oh, yes. Look at the instructions. Stir well before use. You can't stir tea with the lid on.
You mean paint?
What?
You mean paint, not tea?
Oh, yeah. You can't stir paint with the lid on the cup.
The cup?
Yeah, I mean the tin. You can't stir paint with the lid on the tin.
I know, but I need something to open the tin with.
Oh, yeah. Here's a screwdriver.
Thanks. Right. Well, when I've stirred the paint, we can start.
Yeah. I'd love a cup of tea.
So, Mr. Lovejoy wants a cup of tea, but Coco is stirring paint. And when Coco has stirred the paint, they can start.
Stirred.
Has stirred.
When he has stirred the paint.
They can start.
Yes. When he has stirred the paint, they can start.
To start.
To stop.
To start painting.
To stop painting.
Painting.
To start painting.
To stop painting.
To start.
To stop.
Start cleaning.
Cleaning.
Right. I'm going to start cleaning.
Stop cleaning!
Okay.
To start.
To stop.
And when Coco has stirred the paint, they can start. They can start painting. But does the paint need stirring?
Look at the instructions.
Read the instructions.
The instructions. What do the instructions say?
Say hello.
Hello.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Say, I'm feeling ill, but I don't know why.
I'm feeling ill, but I don't know why.
The verb to say. So, what do the instructions say?
The instructions say, stir well before use.
Always look at the instructions.
Always read the instructions.
And the instructions say, stir well before use.
Stir the paint well before you use it.
Stir the paint well before use.
Before you use it.
Use is the verb.
I'm going to paint this wall.
Use this brush.
Thanks.
But clean the brush before you use it.
But clean the brush before use.
Before you use it.
Use is the verb.
Before use.
Use is the noun.
OK.
And the instructions on the tin of paint say, stir well before use.
The paint is in a tin.
The paint is in a can.
A tin is a can.
A tin of paint.
A can of paint.
A tin is a can.
A 1 litre tin of paint.
A 1 litre can of paint.
A tin is a can. And a tin, or a can, has a lid. A lid.
Open the tin.
Take the lid off.
Close the tin.
Put the lid on.
Take off.
Put on.
Take the lid off.
Put the lid on.
Now, Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are painting the first coat.
You paint the room.
That's the first coat.
You paint it again.
That's the second coat.
The first coat.
The second coat.
And Coco and Mr. Lovejoy are painting the first coat. In fact, they're just finishing.
We've finished the first coat, Mr. Lovejoy. The walls are going to look very nice.
Yes, with another coat, they'll look fine.
How long does the paint take to dry?
Oh, I don't know. Look at the instructions.
Allow 2 to 4 hours for the first coat to dry.
2 to 4 hours. Ooh, good. We can have a cup of tea.
The milk's off, Mr. Lovejoy.
Oh.
Never mind. We can paint the woodwork while we're waiting. Have we got any undercoat?
Yes, here it is.
Does it need stirring?
I expect so, but read the instructions. What do the instructions